Welcome back. As you can see, we're sitting in our login queue today. A little bit impromptu, but I know that I was needing to stream today after taking a break yesterday. Kind of want to tell you guys about what's expected for the next few days going forward. So I'm trying to make it where I'm not taking off more than one day in a row from streaming because I understand what... Sorry, I just realized that my mouse pad is on the ground. I realize how big of a task this is that we're trying to undertake, where we're trying to beat a lot of games in not a lot of time. Here's some things that are happening right now. I've got a YouTube channel that I'm trying to use to chronicle everything because I have found, both through experience and talking to some more experienced streamers than I, that the collections and highlights on Twitch are just hidden and you just like hardly can't find them. It's hard to showcase that stuff when I think that that's kind of the main appeal of what I'm doing. Trying to get things, you know, concise and trying to make this a very low impact way of watching everything. So we've got a YouTube channel now that you can check out. It's the same URL as Twitch. It's just youtube.com/soapy159. I've got things set up in a playlist there. Right now I've only got the first 2 streams up there. I was having trouble getting the third one to process. It seems like it's a common problem on YouTube, so you know, that's going on right now. We've got... I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, if you couldn't tell. And Final Fantasy XIV Intergrade will be out on the 10th. It's the 8th right now. So, let me just double check the calendar, make sure I'm not giving you misinformation. On Thursday, I would not expect to stream. Hence why I'm streaming tomorrow. I don't want to take off more than one time. So on Thursday, planning to stream, not to stream. And that should be fine. I will on Friday, I imagine. I really want to play that game. I want to play it on the PlayStation 5. Let's see, what else is there going on? Oh, so I have been playing on another character. I think I've made a note of it, but I haven't formally addressed it. I have another character who is my main character, Ambrosia Caesar, and I have been trying to catch up. I have not played for the past half a year or so I am getting ready on that character as well for the next expansion, which means that with weekly things that happened, like the reset was last night, I'm trying to make sure that I am getting my weekly allowances actually all accounted for. So the night and a day like yesterday, I had gotten to the end of the week and I was not very close. So I went ahead and spent that night last night getting all of the new tomes that I could, and then it just so happened that I finished late enough that I was like, I can stay up long enough to actually see the reset happen. And I took care of a lot of this week's stuff last night. That's why I'm not streaming early today. I was kind of planning on it, but silently, so I know I didn't like disappoint anybody there per se. Let me pick up my mouse pad. But that is something, if you may wonder why I'm not streaming on a specific day. If it's a Monday or Tuesday, that might be why. There's a game coming out, that's probably why. I'm not going to stream most video games that I play on here, because kind of the point of this is that I think that Final Fantasy XIV is daunting for a lot of people. And you know, I have some friends in my circle that I really want to have watch these videos if that's what they want, if that's the way that they want to be refreshed on the story. Again, the purpose is to make things low impact and very easily accessible. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake's not unaccessible. PlayStation 5s are unacceptable, sure, but that's not really the point. Anybody that has a PlayStation 5 that has been able to get a hands on it will probably play that game, if that's something they want to do. Can't really say the same thing for Final Fantasy XIV, right? So, that's the thought there. So today I have some goals in mind. Obviously I want to join a grand company because I'm pretty sure that's what we're about to start doing. Along with that comes getting a chocobo. And so those are the only 2 things that immediately I remember. I feel like we go to Shroud and meet with the Sylphs. But that really is just a guess, and I don't know how long all of these things take. I don't know how long it's going to take to get a chocobo. I haven't had to do that in a long time. So, we're going to see what Minfilia wants, right? Let's get started. I also didn't tell anybody inside of my household today that I had started streaming, so at some point we may have somebody knock on my door. I'll have to tell them to piss off. Dogs may be barking, TVs may be loud. Like I said, it was just kind of spontaneous. I knew I needed to stream, and it was the time I could. Minfilia is wearing a wry smile. Okay. No sooner you joined that you personally bested the Primal Ifrit. Ifrit. My little sword. Fame does not come without a price. You are wanted by everyone. Big Paladins! Each with their own salute. Okay, they're just talking about what all these different companies have. It's not really that important in the grand scheme of things. Is not the only benefit. Oops. You are possessed of great power. However vigilant you are but one man. Yet I hope we can still rely upon your aid. We being the Scions. Ah, Link Pearl. Now when you're away, I can call you and make you come talk to me in person anyway. Bye, fellas. I think I've mentioned this before on stream, but I am most likely to join the Adder, and it's not because of any, like, benefit you get from being there, as much as it is that I've always been there. There's some muscle memory tied to that that's a little hard to kick. Like, I always expect to go to Gridania when I need to deal in company credits, for example. It'll save me some wasteful time, so to speak. House of the Death built, huh? I think that's House of the Dead. Go ahead and pick that up. We must have gotten access to this quest because we've talked to Edda. Which is interesting. Oh. Retainer venture. These, again, are not really story related, but they allow you to send your retainer on little errands that can get you some nice little rewards. Yes, I would like passage to the Wolf Gate. It's very nice. It's just a teleport location in Gridania. Want to be a carpenter? No, not particularly at the moment. So those are just class quests. Oops. This little path right here is so strange because you basically never walk on it. Like, it exists and you definitely utilize this gate, but you don't utilize it in, you know, the traditional manner. Use it for teleporting purposes. Here's my pass, sir. Thank you. I also talked a little bit earlier today to a friend of mine about what exactly I have in mind for the class quests in this game. And there's reason to do Dragoon questing. And there's also reason to do Summoner questing. I don't know how compelling of reasons there are to do it, because it's not like it's like the most important thing to the story, but it does
I lost
affect
my
it.
son to the calamity.
Oh, voice cutscene.
The
Boost some volume.
Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5
If you
centuries
go as a conjurer
ago.
at the beginning of this game, you hear a
Working
lot
hand
about the
in hand,
elementals.
the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron,
The twins.
Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer.
God, I missed Alfino's.
The entwined
What's-
serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals,
You just
we have
sound so
embraced
clever.
a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to
Mention
protect
Conjurer.
the
Those two are
sanctity of the
NPCs in the
Twelveswood.
White Mage questline. Follows the Conjurer
When the
questline.
Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the
Conjurer,
Twin
build
Adder
later.
that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
It's a voice I don't remember.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to
No
us to
way.
protect the forest. All the elementals!
Someone please think of the children.
And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
He's just such a different character with that voice. But like, much better in my opinion. Unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. Oh, that's right. I didn't exactly remember that at first. Meanwhile, the Ix will continue their incursions, spurred by Guru. Excuse me. People of Ul'dah.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Reborn as well.
And Reborn as well.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Reborn! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but
Seldom
5
are.
years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save?
No.
You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you! Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm
Ask
prospers,
not what your country
so
can
shall
do for
Ul'dah.
you.
As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Oh, the circus is in town.
People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
Reborn. The whole realm. Alright, Alpha, now tell me your stories.
I fancy meeting you again.
Gone to a long history of conflict with them all, judging by your distaste. You have encountered them. Seek to crush. Ifrit is but one of several problems. These continue to arrive in droves. Sources are finite. Brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. Adventurer of your experience would be a valuable addition to ending the war of attrition. I'm just one man. I'm not sure what I can change. One man could change it. Wouldn't Reborn have done it? Makes you think. Alright, to Limsa Lominsa. Probably the best place in every way. But will I be joining the Grand Company? Nope. Love that they call their leader the Admiral.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride.
I don't even know what it means. Nothing else to say, man?
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn.
Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
The Sahagin creep
Very
ashore
nice.
seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishbuck
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Gather
Melvin!
the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
Where's me cutlass?
to the seven hells, Admiral!
Gotta call her Admiral because I can't pronounce Melvin. Alright, Alphino, give me another history lesson.
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah. Mouse went to sleep. Limsa is plagued by 2 beast tribes. Forgot about the Sahagan. Okay. Sahagan and the Kobolds. Leviathan and Titan, respectively. Capable adventurer like you would be a valuable asset. You didn't say why, though. You have failed to give me a reason. Let us go to Gladiator. Oh, I'll save you, novice retainer. Yeah, I don't know what level. Like, I think the quest level was like level 17. It wasn't that high. But it seems like the only requirement for the Palace of the Dead was to have talked to Edda. And also perhaps to own the game. No, because you can do a bit of it without owning the game, can't you? But just like the first 10 levels. Oh my goodness, you would not believe it. We found this dungeon and it changes every time you enter.